What's going on, people? Myke C-Town here with another episode of Out of My Element, where you guys get to pick the album that I review. Typically, we'll get into that part later, but today we are talking about the album Break the Cycle by the legendary band Staind. But before we get into the video, I want to talk to y'all some more about a company that I am a big fan of, and that is Dossier. Dossier is a perfume company that specializes in reproducing classic, high-end luxury scents at a fraction of the price, but just because the price is lower does not mean that the quality will be lower as well. It's absolutely not. Everyone knows that when you buy designer items, more times than not, you're paying the high price for the brand name, not the product. This is something that you don't have to worry about with Dossier. The prices for the perfumes start at around $29, whereas designer scents start somewhere closer to $30. And one thing that's really cool about them is they have a risk-free system, which allows you to try out the scents before you commit to buying them. And they offer a 30-day return policy in which you can return any open bottle of perfume within that window and receive a full refund. Outside of the price, one thing that really attracted me to this company is the fact that all of their fragrances are ethically sourced with vegan and eco-friendly ingredients, and they're all 100% non-toxic and cruelty-free, meaning no innocent animals had their eyes burned out or their skin scorched off during the production of these fragrances. And this is something that your favorite perfume company probably can't say. A few of my favorite scents are the Musky Oak Moss, which is a nice blend of bergamot, rose, and oak moss with a very subtle musk undertone, which is really dope. And the Floral Rose, which is a blend of musk, cedarwood, and rose, and it's a really nice summery scent. You know, it's a really welcoming scent that would be great for a more casual type of day. So be sure to check out the website, linked in the description section down there. You get a 20% discount off your first order, but there's also a code down there where you get another 5% off. So that's a pretty good deal, in my opinion. And you can also get free shipping if you buy 3 bottles at once. So get on it. So if you've been watching my channel for a while, you'll remember that I was doing these new metal review videos. This is where I run through some of the more popular new metal albums just to see what the big fuss was about, because that whole movement completely passed me by. So I decided to get back to doing these videos while I figure out what the future is for this series. I want to continue it, but as some of you may notice, I paused my Patreon because I simply wasn't able to keep up with my obligations to it. So I'm working that whole thing out. But anyways, on to this album. Full disclosure, I used to like this album back when it came out. I remember hearing the song Outside and thinking it was pretty good. And I was actually shocked that it was so popular because it didn't sound to me like something that would be on the radio. Now, this is around the time that I was really into Catatonia's album Last Fair Deal Gone Down, and Anathema's album A Fine Day to Exit, which both came out the same year as this one. This was back in 2001. And I was really into the dark, heavy, and depressing sound that Catatonia and Anathema were doing. And at the time, I remember this Staind album kind of fitting like right in there. So yeah, I ended up buying it used, and for a while I listened to it a lot. And then I remember just kind of waking up one day and thinking this shit sucked. And I got rid of the CD and I never listened to it again until now. And I was actually really curious to see how this album sat with me 20-something years later. And yeah, it opens up with Open Your Eyes, and fuck, man, this is a bad start, man. That horrible, cheesy ass opening riff. And when it falls back a bit and the singer's voice comes in, his voice isn't bad to me. Like, it's not great, but it's not terrible. And I can't lie, the lyrics aren't crap either. It seems to mostly be about the sad state of the world in regards to crime and poverty and drug abuse. And he's asking the listener how they would feel if they were in the place of these people suffering from these issues. Now, of course, we could do without the whole porn star shaming, but, you know, I wouldn't expect someone in a band like this to really explore that sort of nuance. Pressure is the next song, and again, the riff is super cheesy. but it's nowhere near as bad as the one on the first song. It's not quite laughable, it's just bad. But this song does seem to follow a formula, you know, cheesy, heavy opening riff, slightly softer part where the singer is kind of singing over the bass, doing some sort of slappy sounds, and then back to the heavy riff. Yeah, the song's pretty whack. Next is the song Fade, and I can't lie, man, this song is actually pretty good. For the most part, it's free from the goofy, cheesy riffs. On this one, the riffs are actually pretty decent. They're not too flashy, and they actually complement his vocals as well as the theme of the song, which is mostly the singer kind of lamenting on what seems to be shitty parents that weren't there for him when he was growing up. I just needed someone to talk to. You were just too busy with yourself. You were never there for me to express how I felt. I just stuffed it down. Now I'm older and I feel like I could let some of this anger fade, but it seems the surface I am scratching is the bed that I have made. It's here that I remember why this gave me that Catatonia feeling. Like, let's be honest, man. This song sounds like it could have fit in on Last Fair Deal Gone Down. And furthermore, what's kind of funny is Catatonia actually delved deeper and deeper into the sound on their next two albums, but that's neither here nor there. I can legitimately say that I think this song is actually pretty good. Now comes the jam, the bop, the hit. It's been a while. And yeah, man, listening back to this song is just so funny because it was huge back in the early 2000s. As I remember it being one of the songs that I was super conflicted about, mainly because the song itself wasn't very good. The corny, clean guitar part never did anything for me, and the riff behind the chorus is pretty weak. It sounds like, you know, a Nickelback throwaway riff. But yeah, I think the lyrics were actually pretty good on this song. And it's been a while since I could say that I wasn't addicted. And it's been a while since I could say I love myself as well. And it's been a while since I've gone and fucked things up just like I always do. And it's been a while, but all that shit seems to disappear when I'm with you. Sorry, man, but I just don't think those lyrics are that bad, you know? Maybe a little juvenile, but they're not that bad. Like, I worshipped hardcore bands back in the early 2000s that I won't name, that had fucking corny ass, whiny ass, emo ass lyrics that are way worse than these. But yeah, I hear this song now, and I do think that if you remove how cheesy the band is and how fucking lame the singer became later, you can actually hear the pain in this song, man. The music accompanies the lyrics really well. And yeah, the song seems to be about him just not being able to get his shit together and just always making a mess of things. And there seems to be this kind of underlying topic of this tendency that he has to fuck things up negatively, affecting his relationship with a romantic partner. And I really like this bit. And it's been a while since I've seen the way the candles light your face. And it's been a while, but I can still remember just the way you taste. Now, what's so cool about this part is it's rather ambiguous as to if he's talking about the past romantic partner or if he's talking about the drug that he used to be addicted to. When I was listening to this back when it came out, I just assumed it was about coochie cravings and about him going down on somebody. But being a bit older and having been around addicts and such, I think the way he references the candle lighting their face and remembering the way they taste could easily be a reference to drugs, specifically heroin. The candle being the lighter, lighting the face, the taste of the drugs in the veins. I think you get it. The song change is absolutely terrible, and it sounds like a really bad Tool impersonation. Epiphany is a pretty dry acoustic ballad that maybe led Aaron, the singer, into thinking it would be a good idea to move into the country lane. The next few songs are really tied to that formula that I mentioned earlier, you know, the whole heavy, semi-soft, heavy again. And it's rather boring to me, but again, I can't say it's garbage. You know, on the song Warm Safe Place, they actually do some pretty interesting clean guitar licks and the drummer's doing some nice fills, and when it gets heavy, it's not bad. I actually kind of like the way the riffs lay the backdrop for the chorus. For You was another single, and I forgot all about this song until it came on. And I was like, oh shit, wait, I remember this song. And yeah, this song fucking sucks, man. And the reason I think it sucks is because of the heavy parts. They sound very boring, lifeless, and generic, okay? And I think that's where this band has their problems. Some of their parts are actually not bad at all. Some of the songs have really interesting ideas, but then there'll be these parts that are kind of thrown in there that just sound pointlessly heavy. And what I mean by that is the riffs are definitely thick, but they have no real power to them. You know, they feel empty. And even though I think Aaron's lyrics aren't terrible, the shitty riffs on some of these songs just make me feel like I'm sitting next to some shirtless dude in cut off jorts and a crustache and a mullet with the sides shaved off. And yeah, he's telling me all about his relationship issues while we are sitting on the back of a hayride. Breath smelling like natty light, you know. I love that bitch, dude. I fucking loved her, man. I wouldn't normally call her a bitch, but man, she broke my heart, dude. She broke my heart, man. She pulled out my heart. She spit on it. She threw it on the ground. She took a period shit on it, man. And then she stuffed it back in my chest, dude. I feel her inside me, dude. Every time my heart beats, it beats period poo through my veins, man. It's in my blood, man. It hurts, okay? It hurts. But I saw her sister at the bar the other night. I bought her a shot of Jaeger, and we're gonna see where this book leads us. Which leads me to the next song, Outside, which is the song that Hayride Harry definitely plays while he's drinking on the porch, trying to stop thinking about Betty Sue and who she's gonna bring to the family reunion in his place. But for real, I actually think that this song is pretty good for what it is, man. The riffs aren't bad. It's still fairly formulaic, but since the riffs aren't painfully generic, it's not as bad as some of the others. I actually like the clean guitar parts, and the heavy riff actually has some emotion to it. And the singing is good, man. I especially like how the singer Aaron is good about not getting too crazy with his singing. Sometimes the vocals come off a bit subdued within the music, and it actually really works for me. Waste has an interesting theme where he's talking about a mother questioning him as to why her son may have committed suicide. And I think that's an interesting thing to make a song about, you know? But unfortunately, the song is plagued with boring ass riffs. Once again, especially the heavy ones. No power, no guts, just heavy. You know, I also think it's a really boring, unempathetic, and ignorant take on why someone may choose to end their life. I've always found the you killed yourself because you're weak angle to just be so goddamn basic and devoid of any sort of understanding about the human mind, the psyche, society. It just, it's fucking annoying. But yeah, that's for a different video. The last song has probably the worst riff on the entire album. It's actually a giant crusty booger. I have no idea why the fuck they decided to end the album with this song. I actually think it's the worst song on the entire album, and it's such a bad taste to leave in your mouth, you know? It's not like the rest of the album was amazing, but god damn, man. Walking away on this note is like washing down a Crystal's burger with some stale ass Faygo. So all in all, this album isn't terrible, if I'm being totally honest, man. I feel like it could have actually been pretty decent. If the songwriting was a bit more interesting or mature, I don't think it would be looked at as such a joke. It's definitely a very sad boy album, and these days I feel like people would really enjoy this type of sad boy rock, and it would be looked back at with some reverence instead of so much disdain. You know, like Stained really made sad songs that landed on the radio, and I actually think the songs are a bit more compelling and easier to listen to than some of their contemporaries who got way more popular than they did. But the album is just riddled with lifeless, go nowhere ass riffs. And yeah, even though Aaron, the singer, is a pig fucking bigot piece of shit, I can honestly say his voice isn't terrible, and at times he can write some pretty good pseudo poetic, self-deprecating ass lyrics, man. But yeah, can I say I would voluntarily return to this shit? Absolutely not. Too much of this is just wife beater rock, and I can't say that I have enough years left in my life to spend more minutes of it listening to this shit. So yeah, not again. But it was a nice trip down this dirty ass unpaved memory road. But yeah, there's my thoughts on Stain's Break the Cycle. Let me know what you guys think of this album. Drop some comments down there in the comment section, and let me know what new metal album you think I should try next. I have a couple ideas in my head, but I'm still kind of trying to nail them down. So yeah, hopefully all of you are doing well, and as usual, thank you for living, thank you for loving, thank you for being you, and I'll see you guys next time. All right? Peace out.